homies. Thanks for keeping it tight. Welcome to D&D, or role-playing game, as it were. Rather, I don't know. What do you guys call it? Wait a minute, are you muted?
Sorry. Better?
Yeah.
I call it D&D with Ryan in my calendar.
D&D with
The
Ryan.
help?
That's what we're gonna call it tonight. D&D with Ryan. Oh yeah. No, I planned so much stuff. I was trying to figure it out. I think I'm just gonna do what would be the most interesting little session we could do real quick tonight. Because I got a novel here. I could read it to you, but I don't know. We'll see what your characters would want to do. Actually, yeah, I should be able to throw this first scene at you here. If I put it at the right page of my novel. You guys probably remember where we left off in City of Ironhaven in the dead of the winter, as the storms blow through with wicked winds that could lift men or knock them off their horses. You guys are basically stuck. You can't really leave. It's actually pretty dangerous even to walk around. In fact, Cassandra, you would definitely have to walk around the city just to go train with the Archpriestess at the the Temple of the Word. Make a check for me, like a dexterity check, because you're definitely going to fall down and you're going to become injured. I can foresee this. If you want to describe that.
That's a 9.
It's icy and you're going to slip on the cold stones, you know?
I imagine that Cassandra hasn't done, like, she might not be dressed for it, and it's a lot, and she's walking to her class in like heeled boots, which are very cute, but might not be the most practical. The heels are like you're just tiny little heels on these boots, and it's just one of those fantastic falls where she just is like stepping down the stairs and loses her foot and just like completely slides down the last 10 and just ends up just kind of sitting there in like a puddle of some kind, and just gets back up and wraps her now wet cloak a little bit closer and keeps going. Just a little bit bruised and worse for wear.
Yeah, you definitely take damage. You just understand, like, at 1 damage, you understand, you'll be able to rest, so it doesn't matter. But it's just a dangerous winter. There's always a wicked wind a brewing, and in the city, the bustle of the city has definitely died down substantially. Although outside the city is much worse. Anyway, you guys would spend many nights gathered around the hearth of Elrond's towers in the district over there on the east of the Ironhaven city, where you guys mostly make your rest. And you could regale us with tales of your treasure hunts and adventures, as many a townsfolk might gather. You may tell your tale at the inn if you wish. So you players can essentially give us a short recap in the form of kind of telling your tales around the fire. You definitely hear some adventurers who might be telling tales and having some coins given them. Once I went, this strong man might tell you, was a bare-chested brute, into the mines behind the city and behind the town of Rondell, where goblins dwelled. And with my fists and an axe, I pummeled them into the wall, spewing them across the floor. We became known to the townsfolk as warriors. Here are some of my traveling companions now. Tredicor, the young monk. Perhaps you will tell these kind folk your journey as well, for he comes, I think, from afar, right?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the map right now. Huh? So yes,
Where are you from, Tredicor?
Across the lake, all the way through the Iron Union, or the Ore Union.
Indeed.
We went through the ashen trees and the ashen woods, all the way up into. I'm trying to think. Sorry.
You're
All the way
good.
through the Elwood, Rondell. And the many adventures of saving Abraham and Cora. Yes, the knights. They're brave men, they are.
Ah,
Who have saved.
cheers.
It tells that it could go on for days. But I have come from a monastery where I have lived most of my life, and these travels with Thor have been quite adventurous. We've even been and down and put out the flame that has been burning for quite some time within the Ashenwood. Saved many knights from hanging. Been a long travel. This winter has been a nice rest.
Some townsfolk might say, you speak of quenching the great flame, the darkness which has consumed us and these lands, the hearts of my once companions. Tell us, adventurers, what is it you speak of? They look at each of you, Lorena, particularly, and Tredicor as well.
And
Also, feel free to embellish your stories here, guys, as you just kind of woo these people around the campfire. Definitely some coins, though, tossed your way, Tredicor, already. Sorry, Lorena, go ahead.
I don't want to go into specifics about such evils, but I have ridden a frog across a lake of poison.
Oh,
It was a large frog.
oh. I'm dumbfounded with this story.
What the? When did we ride? When did you ride a frog?
It happened.
A cursed frog,
rode a frog.
Greg says. And, you probably think he's right, Lorena.
Probably.
Strange.
Huh?
Any other stories you'd like to tell, Lorena? What about you, Cassandra? The people are quite impressed with all these stories, honestly, and toss you some coins, Lorena. You guys could both take at least, 10, or not 10 coins. We'll give you
I was like,
I don't know. You get a couple coins. You get 5 coins each. Get quite a few.
woo. Once I see the coins, I will tell them. I also have been solving kidnappings and have decided to devote my life to solving crime.
Cassandra just kind of gives you like a knowing side eye.
So impressive. You know what, Tredicor and Lorena, both of you guys make kind of a performance or persuasion checks, something of that nature.
It's a 1.
Oh. You feel
Thank
like you could have been more convincing for certain, Lorena. But,
this cold is so harsh, and these people just want to be entertained, but it's so cold.
You didn't get to stretch.
Yeah. It's rough. This is a tough crowd.
The winters here are very cold. I do miss my southern home.
We should visit
I would be much obliged. I would love to show you where I grew up. The Crystal Lake especially is beautiful.
Does sound better than the Poison Lake.
We have a wood called the Fairy Wood, in fact. It's maybe dangerous, but it is magical.
I don't trust the Fae.
I would indeed recommend sitting on the edge of the lake and looking at the forest, not necessarily walking beneath its enchanted boughs.
Fair enough. Look from afar. I can do that.
Tell us more of these forests, princess from afar. Some of the folk might chant at you. Tell us more.
Well, like I said, they are much warmer. We are far from tropical, but these bitter winters do not exist the same. But the Fairy Wood, I admit, was not a place that I ventured often as a girl, as dark enchanted woods are not places for young princesses, you can imagine. But my time there was adventurous, to say the least. Me and my good knight were lost one night, running through the dark woods, ambushed by bandits. We lost them in the woods, but not before both of us had taken some serious wounds. It was my first night away from home. Quite the day, you can imagine. We were luckily rescued, in a sense. We found people to take us in. But that was before everything. I'm sorry. She just kind of like turns away and just like sips her ale.
Lorena tosses a coin.
Yeah, you'll definitely get some coins. I mean, in that case, you get 5 coins from the other folks, I'll say as well. And also roll a performance or like a persuasion for me, Cassandra. Did you roll one, Tredicor?
Yeah, I got a 9. Plus, I guess 4 for acrobatics.
Can I get it?
Acrobatics? Do like a persuasion.
Oh, persuasion. Okay. Well, I mean, 9 plus whatever.
Oh, it's performance acrobatics. You could do performance then, but describe for me how you do that.
Oh.
You can just, definitely do something. Good enough.
I decided to tell the story while balancing on my staff with one foot on it.
Oh, tell this part of the story real quick.
Oh, I already did tell the story.
Oh. You were saving Abraham, and you were fighting off the guards in Ozar, right? And what
Yeah, in
was
Ozar.
you did as you jumped off your staff?
Yeah, so I did use my staff. As I was charging the what is it called? The hangman's block.
Yeah. The hangman.
I went up and I slashed all the legs off, or not off, but I tripped up many of the guards with my staff. And as I stood on top of my staff, I freed Abraham from his ropey death. And him and I rushed through the gates, escaping and causing great mayhem.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to be a good success there. I'm going to say you get another 5 gold for your great tales. And lovely. And were you going to say something else, Cassandra?
Oh, no, we don't need to know the outcome of that persuasion roll. We can just appreciate that I told a story and I participated in the roleplay. We don't have to know the roll, right?
No, if it doesn't matter, if it's low, there's no consequence, really.
I know, but Cassandra wants to be so good
I got
at
a
this.
1.
That's fair.
So yeah, we don't need to know, in other words. So, I mean, you can't say if you want.
No, that was a 3. That was very poor. Gotta get better at my public speaking skills.
The tough crowd.
There's might have mentioned there's grand halls where you might tell these tales around the fireside at night. You can relax and drink and be entertained with fine music as well. and feast among friends many nights during this long winter. And I don't know, anything else you guys want to add? Anybody?
I would imagine Cassandra is making a noticeable effort to befriend Lorena and Tredicor. So I imagine she's very deliberately managed to get all three of us sitting together, I would hope. And has like if we have to buy the drinks, she's bought the drinks, you know? And have I ever told you guys about my presentation in court?
No.
No.
As you very well might know, among the noble circles, when a girl becomes of marrying age, she's often presented to the court and thus officially out for suitors. Essentially, it's a very big moment in a young girl's life. Mine didn't go so well. You must understand that where I'm from, magic is not sought after or wanted, or in fact, it is quite illegal. And I was born with quite the magical talent. And on the eve of my presentation, my father invited a wonderful suitor, wonderful being, a very sarcastic thing. He was not the best looking of fellows, you might imagine. But he was the first, and I was determined to make a good impression. After all, my duty at the time was to marry. And as we all sat in the banquet hall, I was to perform, and it's a show, noble. So I'm not good with music, but I had been practicing, and I was meant to perform on the lute. And I went wrong in my song, as you can very well understand. Again, I'm not very good on the lute. And as I hit that wrong chord, my nerves got the best of me. And as an untrained mage, the room filled with light as I lost control of my power, just orbs of light everywhere. And this caused quite the immediate ruckus. I was immediately escorted from the premises. I believe that the young suitor's father immediately started calling for my death. And I was forced to flee that night. On the bright side, I didn't have to marry him. Which fully a bright side. But maybe not the best first presentation in court, you could imagine.
Sounds magical.
Unfortunately so.
Cheers.
To not having to marry a dull-witted prince.
Hurrah. I like that. At least you haven't caused too much destruction with your magic around us.
Yes, and in fact, I would hope that such a light show might be more appreciated in my current company. Not that I lose such control of my magic anymore.
Well, I always encourage ruckus.
That you do, Lorena. And I'm just gonna take the ice cold pitcher and just refill your drink. Yeah, just a lovely night with friends.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, after all, the nights pass. It's windy and chilly and brittle cold. But Mistletoe commences every couple days. There are celebrations with the lighting of the candles on the walls and in the streets, which you may partake in as much as you wish. The celebration goes on for a fortnight. And there's lots of snow and basically the height, what we hope is the last bout of the winter, as spring should be coming soon, essentially. However, one night in particular, as Lorena is also busy with many other errands during this time, which we can tell more tales of this winter that we spend in Ironhaven, but we'll glance over most of it for this session. Y'all get up to many adventures during this time. One night in particular, though, we'll have Tredicor make a perception check for me real quick.
What am I perceiving?
As you sleep.
That is a 10.
10. Yeah, I imagine you're in the main room, in the like sleeping in the rafters tonight. But nevertheless, you are awakened by a sound, and you go to check it out. In Cassandra and Lorena's sleeping chambers in this particular tower nearby, where Tredicor rests in the main lobby, you two are sleeping or meditating, as elves do, soundly on many thoughts of the past and lives you've lived, Lorena. You have learned much during these times. You are very enthralled with these dreams, which are quite vivid and insightful, as some dark cloaked figure sneaks into the room. Lorena and Cassandra, you guys can make perception checks for me.
$15 for me.
And a 10 from me.
Yeah, both definitely stirred from your sleep, slightly, becoming conscious. This black hooded elf wing pulls a dagger from their cloak and goes in to stab at Lorena, but of course she is too quick for this assassin, whose blow is being deflected or dodged in some way. Lorena, would you like to describe how suddenly, at the last moment, you awaken from your trance and block this blow? The assassin's dagger. You're muted.
Since I'm in a trance, I'm not really sleeping, so my eyes aren't all the way closed. So I feel like I sense the motion. And then when they come in with the dagger, I kind of grab the wrist and pull it and force it back towards them.
Nice.
Right backwards.
Lorena, make a, well, actually, everybody make a initiative check here, but it's just you and the assassin this first round, Lorena.
15.
All right, yeah, I mean, that goes well. Lorena, you get first initiative, so you can take your turn right now against this assassin. What are you going to do?
I will use this dagger to cut his own throat.
All right, roll an attack for me.
It's 14.
All right. That's a good hit there. You definitely get a glancing blow at his throat and do cut it and deal some damage. He does, this cloaked figure, I'm not sure if it's like exactly who it is or anything like that, but they do definitely step back and, it's not a fatal blow.
Do I keep control of the dagger, though? Like, is it mine now?
Make a check for me. You can do like dexterity or whatever.
Okay. $14 again.
No, they actually keep the dagger. What was your other initiatives, you guys? You're muted, Kyle.
17.
Oh, okay.
And 9 for Cassie.
Right. Tredicor, you burst into the room as Cassandra is kind of just like sitting up on the side of the bed, and this assassin backs up kind of next to you, perhaps bumping into the door, blocking you out. accidentally, it would seem, as you see that they are having this fight here. What are you gonna do?
Wait, so I got locked out?
You're not locked out. You can push the door open, and you kind of
Okay.
push this assassin by doing so. You're kind of the door's between you and the assassin right now.
Oh, fun. Okay. As the assassin's on the other side, I decide to do like one of my signature moves. I kick the door even harder, and I just want the door to like swing and hit him, and also have him like either get sandwiched in between the wall and the door, or have him fly against the wall.
Yeah, make a check for me and attack.
All right, do a kick. 16.
Nice. Yeah, that'll work. Roll damage.
One second.
Did you roll damage, Lorena? You did, right?
Yeah, I think I rolled 14. Oh no, I rolled 14 to hit, and you said it just glanced. But I don't think we did damage.
Oh yeah, might as well roll your damage.
Did I just roll a d20?
I did 7.
No, the damage is on your character sheet for what weapon you're using. Oh, it's the dagger. So actually, just roll a d4 for me, and then I'll do the math.
Okay. 2.
Okay. What did you say, Tredicor?
7.
7 damage. Nice. Yeah, you block him up against the wall with the door, like you were saying. And in that case, Cassandra, it's actually your turn.
So, Tredicor and his assailant are not in this room.
No, yeah, they are. The assassin is like beside you, now getting knocked up against the wall. They're stuck behind the door. Tredicor like blocked him on behind the door right now.
Okay,
And,
so they're not
it's-
in the room?
They are in the room. It's a pretty small room for all 4 of you, actually. There's your bed's in there. There's like
Okay.
another area to the room, but you guys are in a small section of it.
I would like to attempt to cast sleep on our assailant.
Okay.
And
You
I'm
have the arcane fragment.
getting it up right now. I have so many spell books.
Oh, go guys, check your character sheets that I sent to your main channels.
The
And your
ones
spells
that
are all on
leveled up,
there.
like what, 2 sessions ago?
Yeah, I sent you your new character sheets. They're on Discord. All your spells are on there.
I'm just trying to look up the more detailed ruling for sleep. I don't actually know if we actually ever put it in here, so I'm just gonna Google it real fast so I don't get any of the rules wrong for it.
If you look at your character sheets, for sleep you'd have to do a ritual, so it'd take too long. Right now.
I haven't marked. Yeah. Oh.
Well, is it a cantrip?
No, it's a first level spell. But there's extra rules.
Do I have it marked incorrectly on my sheet after our discussion?
I thought it was detect magic, chromatic orb, and false life for level 1. Was your
My level 1, I have fog cloud, mage armor, witch bolt, sleep, shield, false life, detect magic, chromatic orb, and thunder wave.
right? But I'm talking about the ones where you have the arcana fragment.
Yes, I have. Oh gosh, it's been a while since we had this conversation. I should have written it down more.
Look at your character sheet that I sent you, because it's all written down on there.
Well, just which.
You have to.
Did we ever write down the ruling for it? Because I'm remembering that there were like 2 steps to this. So like it was full ritual, and then it's you can attempt to cast it, but you need to make a check in order to cast it, and then there's just you can cast it. That's what I remember is like the kind of like 3 levels of how much of this I have.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, but if you want to cast a spell instantly, you're gonna need an arcana fragment. And I didn't think you had one for sleep.
I have one of whatever 2 levels I needed. It's fine, whatever. I guess instead I will.
Yeah, the way it's on your character sheet is better. Makes more sense. we should look at that. But
I
there
am,
is chromatical.
but I'm just gonna go ahead and cast Chill Touch because I'm familiar with it.
There you go. You do have that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, go ahead and describe that as well you want.
I imagine that Cassandra, having been awoken, is just kind of sitting up in bed and just kind of reaches out her hand and just like the ghostly cold hand kind of like skitters across the floor and latches onto the opponent. Let's see, that is 1d8.
Yeah, very apt. Kind of crawling up the door handle perhaps and just kind of clatching onto their neck, kind of freezing them with a choke. What did you roll?
2 damage.
Okay, let's see. All right. That would make the turn of this mysterious assassin, who definitely, at this point, will attempt to sneak and sleek and sprint out of the room as best as they can. So, Tredicor, primarily you are going to roll for me just like a dexterity check as you they're going to try to run past you. So you can attack them or do whatever you want. So I'll have you roll like an attack or something and you can tell me what you're going to do.
Okay, well, let's just roll to see if I can even do that. Okay. So I rolled a 13, plus I guess 4 for doing dexterity. Okay, as this guy tries to worm and weasel his way out and start running, I actually kind of want to do like a clothesline on him, you know? As he tries to sneak out, I just kind of like put my arm straight out, and as he like
And
runs,
he's
he just
cut.
hits his. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, interesting. You guys basically draw on this roll. So I would say you're successful. He definitely, though, manages to kind of he gets tripped up, but gets back on his feet and kind of attempts to keep going here. All of you guys could attempt to kind of pursue him. You definitely kind of hurt him a little bit more there, Tredicor, I would say. In fact, roll damage for me on the clothesline.
5.
Nice. Yeah, you're still within reach, and he looks like he is just fleeing for his life right now. You can definitely pursue him. What are you guys going to do real quick, Cassandra and Lorena? You guys going to pursue?
I'm going to shoot him in the back with my arrows.
It's just around the corner. So you could pursue and do that real quick. You have to just walk out the door. Okay, that's a good plan. What about you, Cassandra?
I imagine that, she's getting out of bed in her nightgown, feet on the cold floor, and chasing after. Not a ton of plan in her head, mostly just answers needed.
Yeah, Lorena's definitely first out the door there. Well, Tridicor's in front, but then Lorena. And you guys all make a dexterity check as you pursue.
Does it have to be dexterity? Oh.
You're
definitely tripping down the stairs in your nightgown right now, Cassandra.
It's a
The others are going out the door.
-2.
You guys are running out the door, basically, of the towers. There's a guard out there sleeping.
Just get sandwiched in.
As you guys run, this guard, his chair all spins around. He's sleeping. He's like, "Oh, what's going on?" Oh. What do you guys roll?
21.
6?
6? And I guess a 21.
Okay. What did you add your dex modifier, Kyle?
Yeah, it was 19 and I have +2.
Lorena, you just slide down the handrails and just catch up to him real quick. This cloaked figure spinning around or whatever. What are you gonna do, Lorena?
Shooting him in the back with an arrow.
Oh, right. Yeah, you just you're pretty close range even. You caught up so quick and you take a shot. make the attack roll.
It's a 16.
The cloaked figure of this elfin. The hood falls down. It's revealed to be a woman, an elf, and falls down. And there's blood all over the streets. It's dark in the moonlight. God's like, "Oi, what's all going on?"
Do I get a roll damage?
You don't have to. They
Is
will
she
fall
dead?
down. You can go investigate. Make an investigation check.
Okay. 12.
They are still breathing, but they're bleeding. Right now, they've got your bolt in their back.
Oops. Who are they?
As you kind of pull them over, it's kind of revealed, underneath their cloak, you can see the ensemble of a priestess of the word, the sixth word,
Do I
lower
recognize
ranking
her?
acolyte.
Would I recognize her?
Make a perception check for me.
Somebody
you-
maybe I'm studying
We'll
with?
get there in a few, maybe a minute though, honestly. So, but yeah, you can tell me the results.
That was a 5.
Yeah, Tridicor's there first, though. Anything else you guys are gonna do before Cassandra even is there in these long
since
seconds?
we know it's a priestess from the sixth word. That's right here in Ironhaven. That's where the main keep is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the main structure of the town. Is the temple and the castle of the sixth word, essentially.
So now that we at least have an idea of where she came from, I guess my deduction is we may not be safe in Ironhaven anymore. We should probably go up to the keep.
I'm gonna do a weapons pat down and take anything on this person, this elf.
Yeah, Lorena, I'd say you probably are likely to just find a dagger and a wand.
I'm taking both.
Cool.
What are you gonna do with a wand?
It's a mine, Tredicor. What I will. But Loki might give it to you.
I have no use for magical things like that. I'm a monk. I don't use wands.
And I'll just
Maybe.
put it in with my arrows in the quiver.
Cassie, you arrive at the scene. You don't recognize this particular acolyte of the word. But there are many students and elves who train within the castle keep of the temple of the word here in the city. So not unheard of that you wouldn't have seen everyone.
Lorena, is there anybody in the church who might want you dead?
Specifically, or the church in general, or I.
Okay, I'm gonna take that as a yes. Please elaborate.
You guys could go back there, but I'm gonna leave from where that is.
If this is an assassination attempt on you, you are my friend, and I am a member. This would be one of, not necessarily my peer, but I would like to vouch for you and try and settle whatever is going on. But if this person was here to kill us all, that is a very different situation and would involve different people.
If I remembered what happened, maybe we'd have answers. But instead, we just have this.
Okay. Would you be willing, under Tredicor and I's both physical and reputation protection, would you be willing to go with me to the temple and try and sort this out? If they kill you in front of me and Tredicor, they are in much bigger issue than if they just sent an assassin. I would like to interview the priestess who teaches me and that kind of thing. I want to get to the bottom of this. No one is allowed to kill my friends.
We could visit, but I might want to disguise at first.
Okay.
The guard will definitely come down the stairs and kind of hear you guys' story a little bit and go and see what's going on as this person on the ground coughing up a little blood. It's like, what's going on? Where am I? Yeah, you guys want to go ahead and make a plan and do whatever you're going to do next, or what do you think?
Well,
Tredicor?
since she's still kind of coughing and talking, we should like kind of shake her and say, "Who sent you?"
What do you make a kind of a check for me, Tredicor? I don't know, like some type.
Interrogation?
Yeah, that sounds right.
While he's doing that, I would like to lean over to Lorena and just go, I might be able to do some minor interrogation a little bit. If they are unwilling, perhaps we can move this to a more private room.
Well, I rolled an
I think
18.
Good.
Okay, let's see. This individual will definitely just say, I serve the word. I'd say they, kind of out of sorts, as it were. They don't seem like they're going to say anything else of importance. Kind of almost unconscious.
Tredicor, let's move this to a more private place. I might have some tricks up my sleeve, but I need a place I can do a ritual.
The guard will definitely
Okay.
get you guys' stories and be like, I'll have to call a medic, I suppose. You guys just gonna walk off? You're gonna try to take him? Because the guard's gonna say, like, you can't take the guy.
You're welcome
What's
to
going
come.
on here?
This person has tried to kill my friend. You are more than welcome. I promise that no physical harm will come to this person during my interrogation. You are more than welcome to come with him. Give me an hour.
The guard is gonna. He's gonna call for backup. Essentially, there's some other guards nearby who he signals over with perhaps his lantern, and he says he'll take him into custody, but you can come do your spell on him or whatever in jail, in the dungeons below the castle.
Please, just an hour, sir. You can watch over him the entire time. I would like to get this done quickly before more are sent.
You can make a persuasion check.
It's a nat 1.
He says, I'll
Rolling
let you do
shit
what you
tonight.
want in the tower, as long as you don't question me anymore, traveler girl.
I visibly take offense to this, but don't say anything more.
All right.
I guess I am kind of in my nightgown. Oh gosh, I'm like, oh, okay. We need to get dressed first.
And I pipe up, I'm like, she is a princess. And like point in his
Well,
face.
excuse me, I serve Ardon, the king around here, so there's no princess here.
Cassandra just like kind of discreetly like realizes her nightgown might be thinner than she wants it to be, and just like chin up, like, I will meet you there, and tries to just like as stoically as possible kind of dart to her room, realizing her state of undress.
Yes. Would you guys like to later cast that spell in the dungeons below the castle, where you can be escorted by similar guards, knights of the, really elven kind of king's guard, as it were, perhaps?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, you're gonna go down below the dungeon and do your spell, Cassandra, or were you guys trying to
Yes.
interrogate or something?
Cassandra's gonna like
Yeah, we
put on a
need info.
tiara after that.
Oh yeah.
She gets like dressed up and like puts on a delicate small tiara, like just so the guards know. And then yeah, we're going to the tower.
Cool. Yeah, you can definitely go there and find the prisoner. You'll be escorted down. And the prisoner's conscious right now. You say, "Hello, who's come to see me?" It is this elven woman. You
I'm
recognize.
not going to say a word, and I on the way here I would have liked to talk to Tredicor. Tredicor, I'm going to cast to detect thoughts on this person. I'll be able to glean their surface thoughts. And all I'm going to need you to do is I want you to ask questions, and it doesn't matter how forthcoming they are about them. If I am getting the information we need and like we're all good, I will shake your head and I'll shake my head and just move on to the next topic. Otherwise, just kind of keep interrogating them, trying to get details, even if they're unresponsive, because I will be able to hear it.
Okay.
We need to know
Who their target is, why they were sent, who sent them,
exactly. I'm so glad we're
how
on the
much
same
money
page.
were they paid.
Can we outbuy them? Okay.
Yeah, Lorena's on board with that one.
As long as she's the one paying for it.
What's
Let's
their
fake
social
my
security
death
number?
and then cash in.
I would never stand for such foolishness.
I'm like offended. I'm like, think of the money.
But when we actually come in front of the prisoner, I will remain completely silent and just kind of set up my ritual circle in the hallway. Just kind of like pretty much as far back. I can be up to 30 feet away. So just kind of like pretty far back from them. And I will set up my ritual circle to cast Detect Thoughts.
Yeah, you can do that. You can definitely cast your spell. There's no like tense situation or anything, not like a battle. So you got all the time in the world. You do that, and how are you guys going to approach it?
I hope it's like a very uncomfortable wooden chair. Like, yeah. I want it to be very dimly lit. Only like one lantern behind me.
I think you need some candles for the spell, but it's super eerie, dude. It's like,
All right.
I'm just going to
Tredicor puts
observe
his
from
hood
the
on.
shadows.
Tredicor puts his hood on and just kind of walks up with his staff in hand. And, starts just kind of like, every time you ask a question, he just kind of hits the ground with it, just to make his presence known. Ah. Assassin. Who sent you?
So yeah, this lady elf says, "I was sent here by the gods. I'm not sure why."
The gods. The gods of the sixth word.
And definitely Cassandra is aware of more as the subject here responds to you. Excuse me, the guards, they locked me up and chained me. You're aware of their thoughts. This is...
Where did they...
sorry, continue.
Oh, I was going to...
Oh, you're good. This is Wellison, is the name of this lady. She's an elf of the sixth word. She was an orphan, so she's always been raised in the church. She's a tree elf. Not like extremely ambitious. She just enjoys a simple life, works sometimes, very rarely, to make extra money, which is not really supposed to be known by her superiors in the church. She likes to buy, fancy things, sometimes wands, and she practices magic and learns as much as she can. Not as gifted, of course, as Lady Cassandra. Wellison might be a little bitter just looking at you. She says to Tredicor as you interrogate her with your questions, "Why? Do you know why I've been locked here?"
You were trying to assassinate either I or one of my colleagues.
What? I don't remember. Their hands are shaking. Their throat is bandaged up. And they are just in like a simple white tunic.
Does she
do
actually not remember?
Yeah, you can tell that her thoughts are true. There's not really too many other thoughts. She thinks, what are they talking about? What could have happened? I was at like a mass,
Where you
essentially,
last
last I
remember?
remember. She'll tell you the same thing. She was at the temple. She was just chanting with the like her class, like doing almost like a meditation. She'll tell you what it's actually called. Oh, the word escapes me. I don't know, like a mass, essentially. She's at mass. I don't know. And then she was being taken by the guards in the streets at night, and you three were there.
Is she referring to like what just happened a few minutes ago IRL, or
Yeah.
is it some other thing that we haven't particularly roleplayed recently?
No, you can see in her mind her recollection of the night. There's foggy. She can't remember. You can clearly see like she can't remember certain segments as she runs through it in her mind, and essentially in the streets when she falls to the ground, she remembers everything from there, just as you would. She's in here, and then you guys come after the night.
Do I recognize the temple that she like? If mass was like the last clear thing she remembers, do I recognize like where she is so I could like return to that location, or like do I recognize like the teacher or who's leading it or that kind of thing?
You might be able to with the interrogation. You might motion to Tredicor or something.
Yeah. When she starts mentioning mass, I'm going to catch Tredicor's eye and just kind of signal to him to continue along that line.
So during this meditation of yours, do you know who's leading it?
You can see her trying to remember. There's a cloaked figure who leads a meditation. It's one of the higher ranking members probably, but she can't see their face, so she says, I'm not sure. Someone in the church higher up.
In this meditation, were there other acolytes, such as yourself, there with you?
Yes. What were you going to say, Cassie?
I'm just wondering if right where he is. We are on the same wavelength.
You guys are all there. Sorry, what?
We're on the same wavelength. I want to see if I can like recognize her classmates. I'm trying to ascertain like what class she is in, or like where exactly would have been like what class this is to try and figure out who might have been there. So like, do I recognize her classmates?
Yeah, there's I would say you can see a couple faces you recognize. A couple of maybe one elf and one human. You definitely recognize them. You could kind of think about it and maybe figure out where they were, but right now you're so involved in the investigation, you're not exactly sure.
Okay.
Tredicor, were you going to say something else to them?
Where was this meditation held? I know it was in the temple, but can you give me specifics? Maybe? I don't know. What time of day was this?
She will try to remember, and Cassandra can tell that some parts of her memory are foggy as well as they go through the temple itself. But she knows where she started at one point, so she'll give you like, I don't know, a location, like this certain room, perhaps the classroom where they study, I don't know, say potions. Started at potions, and she went to mass, but she can't remember exactly where they held it. There's many rooms, many towers, and sometimes it gets confusing. I'm sorry. I don't feel well. I'm hungry. Lorena, what are you going to do during this time? Your tactic here?
I'm just kind of listening from the shadows right now because I do have a lot of enemies there, but I don't really want to give myself away quite yet.
Okay. I do
I'm
want to
also
kind of
just
wrap.
kind of nervous.
I do want to kind of wrap this scene up because this plays really well into your solo campaign and all the stories we can tell. But I do kind of want to wrap it up for tonight, and we'll come back to this later. Anything you want to do then in that context, Lorena?
I think I want to ask if she remembers fire, dark fire of any kind at this mass.
Some
I mean, I know
foggy
she can't
parts-
really.
Some foggy parts of Cassandra's vision kind of like coalesce and almost become clearer as some ritual chants in some dark pentagram, and this dark fire just like begins to rise and flicker. And then there's fighting, clanking of swords, and a bunch of bloodshed, and the fire consumes the vision as we fade to black. And we're going to take a little break. Let's give it like 5 minutes or so. We'll come back right back and continue with our adventure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, sweet. I'll see you soon.